Yeah, it gives me great pleasure to announce the ICC men's T20 squad for this World Cup, 2024 World Cup. The squad will be as follows. Aiden Markram, captain. Otniel Bartman, Gerald Coetzee, Quinton de Kock, Bjorn Fortuin, Riza Hendricks, Marco Janssen, Heinrich Klaassen, Keshav Maharaj, David Miller, Heinrich Nortje, Kagiso Rabada, Ryan Rickleton, Tabraiz Shamsi, Tristan Stubbs make up the 15, and we'll be taking 2 travelling reserves, and that'll be Nandre Berger and Lungi Ngidi. The squad for provisional squad for West Indies, please bear in mind that that will be impacted by IPL player availability moving forward. So there could be names.
Very good morning to you and welcome to the squad.
Okay, there you go. Could be names added to the squad as we go along. Otniel Bartman, Matthew Breska, Bjorn Fortuin, Riza Hendricks, Patrick Kruger, Vivian Mulder, Lungi Ngidi, Ngaba Peter, Ryan Rickleton, Andile Petlukwayo, Tabraiz Shamsi, and Rassie van der Dissen.
Great. Thank you very much, Rob. Now we'd like to open up to the floor for questions. Who would like to take the first one? Great. We'll start with Nathan and then followed by Morgan.
Thank you very much, Lucy. Good day, Rob. Rob, what factors were used to pick the World Cup squad? I was looking at the averages and other relevant stats over the last year of potential picks. Was there criteria of the composition of the squad?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's various criteria that go into selecting squads. Yeah, past performances, the performances this year, the performances over the last year, historical performances a bit further back than that, makeup of squads, potential conditions that we are going to, balance. So yeah, I mean, those are all the factors, and then the good old fashioned coaches gut feeling on a pick along the way.
Thank you, Nathan. Morgan?
Thanks, Lucy. Hi, Rob. Rob, just your thoughts on the venues that you guys are going to be playing with, because the USA is going to be a totally new game for most of these players, and it's going to be quite interesting to see what, especially that stadium in New York, has got to offer.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredibly exciting. Going to a new venue that's literally been created for the World Cup. I think what that does do is, it creates a sort of a level playing field from a conditions point of view, because no one really knows what we're going to get. So the ability to respond to those conditions quickly is going to be imperative. And then moving into the West Indies, St. Vincent for our final game. And then, yeah, depending on where we finish in the Super 8s, hopefully is, a mixture between Antigua, St. Lucia and St. Vincent again. So sort of a broad variety of conditions. We do know, much like India, really, that the West Indies can throw up a very varied number of conditions. So, yeah, to have a good balance and have players who play well in all conditions is important.
Thanks, Morgan. For those then, Kagiso?
Thanks, Lucy. Hi, Rob. Rob, I'm just wondering if you could talk us through how you made your decision on the guys who will make up sort of the top order. Obviously, there's been some conversation around Faf and maybe Matthew Britsky's done quite well as well. So how did you land on the guys that you've landed on?
Yeah, look, I mean, obviously Riza has been the star performer for us in T20 cricket. Was a standout in this domestic CSA T20 challenge again. Quality cricketer. Quinny, yeah, we've seen him do it time and time again for us. Ryan Rickleton, he's had 2 outstanding competitions really, where he's played the brand of cricket that that we're looking to play. So, and then we go into Aiden Markram, and that'd be the top order, the top 4, depending on the makeup of our side. So yeah, I mean, really mostly performance-based decision. And from Quinton's point of view, just a real knowledge of what he's capable of.
Thanks, Fidos. Kaniso?
Sorry, yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Oh, there we go. No worries.
Rob, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Rob, just take us through the selection of Neil Bartman in particular. Understandingly so that you don't know how the New York pitch will play, but it's probably one of your better picks for the slower West Indies surfaces.
I mean, look, if you're going to talk about someone who's forced his name into a squad, you'd have to talk about Otniel. I mean, over the last couple of years, he's been outstanding, but in particular in the SA20, I felt, he was a cut above the rest. He really showed himself as a quality death bowler in particular. We've seen, particularly in the last couple of weeks in IPL, being able to manage the death is going to be critical. So he's someone who offers that speciality in his skill set. But to be honest, if you look at the numbers, he's been successful through all the phases of the game. So, he's worked really hard to get his name into the mix through sheer performance. And, it's a pleasure to be able to reward those guys when it happens.
Thanks, Kaniso. Ken?
Thanks, Lucy. How's it, Rob? Rob, just you mentioned the IPL, and obviously we've seen a extremely high-scoring, record-breaking IPL. Are you expecting similar things in the West Indies? And does that then speak a bit to your batting order, because you've got 7 batsmen in that squad? The top 4 you've mentioned. Then you've still got Miller, Klaasen, Stubbs. Do you play all 7? Do you play all your big hitters? What's the sort of outlook there?
Won't give away all the secrets, Ken, beforehand, but look, I think the reality is IPL is slightly different given the impact player. So it does lengthen your batting lineup. It does allow teams to be more aggressive given, there's one extra batter in there. So I think that you might see a slightly different method when it comes to the World Cup. However, there's no doubt in my mind that this IPL has changed T20 cricket, changed the way that the game is going to be played moving forward. So it's important for us to maintain in front of that curve. So again, the balance of the team, is always conditions related and opposition related. So, I won't say now what the balance of the team will look like, because we'll see. We'll look at what's in front of us first to decide.
Thanks, Ken. We'll go Telford next. Nathan, I will give Neil a chance first, and then we'll take the follow-ups. Thanks, Telford.
Thanks, Lucy. Evening, Rob.
Hi, Telford.
Hi. When you look at players like Anrich, who's not having the greatest IPL, and Marco Jansen has only played the one game there, probably through no fault of his own. Do you consider that something of a gamble, picking them? Are you a betting man, in other words?
Definitely not a betting man. I never have been. But no, I just trust the quality of the players. Anrich, he's got another month before that World Cup starts, so no doubt that he'll hit his straps. It's good to see that his speed is up, and along with playing and more time training, he'll start to get his feel back, no doubt. And Marco, the same. We are in touch with these guys continuously, just ensuring that they're putting in the work. They understand that the turnaround is short, and that they need to be ready when the time comes. And to be fair, we're not the only team in that position, so we just need to trust the quality of the players and make sure that in whichever way we do it, we need to hit the ground running.
Thanks, Telford. Neil?
Hi, Rob. Sorry, England have got a warm-up series against Pakistan, and the ECB have just announced that all of their players will be available for that, which means that all their IPL players will miss the playoffs and the knockout stages. I just wondered whether that was ever something that you requested, or or would you have liked that, or are you happy to cast a net wide?
I mean, in an ideal world, you'd like to come together for the period of time before the campaign, but sometimes that's not possible. For me, the most important thing is that the guys are playing, wherever that may be. The West Indies series prior, obviously, initially would have been set aside as preparation for World Cup, but it does give us an opportunity to get the World Cup players that have not been part of the IPL into some competitive cricket. Get them playing. We've been able to obviously bring a few extra players in to broaden our net, as you've said. So, there's also benefits to that. Again, it's I trusted the guys are doing the work. They play a hell of a lot of cricket, have played a hell of a lot of cricket, and so to come together and get together quickly, that's on us. We need to do that. This is our situation. There's no point in bemoaning what might or could be, and just deal with what we have in front of us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Neil. Cool. We'll look to take a couple of follow-ups. Nathan, then Firdous.
Thank you very much again, Lucy. Rob, with that provincial squad against West Indies, there is a sense of players being picked to perform domestically, the likes of Peter, Matt Bretsky. But how pleased are you with the level of cricket, domestic cricket in the T20 tournament this past season where the Lions were victorious?
Yeah, I mean, it's always great to be able to reward guys who perform. That's the ideal. Having a strong group of players pushing the top squad is imperative to any sport, and in our sport, it's no different. So, the domestic competition, people have potentially questioned the quality of it. In my opinion, I saw really good cricket. You saw players that were successful in the SA20 continue to be successful in our domestic competition. And, just having guys play, I've spoken to a number of players who've said just being able to have another 14 games of T20 cricket has been awesome for them, as much as there's been reports of others who've said potentially it hasn't. So, yeah, I'm chuffed just that the guys were playing. There was some good cricket and some average cricket, but there were some standout performances, and we've got those performers that are going to now have a chance to put their skills at a higher level, which is great.
Thanks, Nathan. Firdous and Zahir.
Rob, I guess you're not the only team with this issue of having not played a lot of international T20 cricket, but just what does that do in terms of your own planning? Because, I mean, it would have been like 6 months, that you haven't played as a team. So how can you get things to gel?
Look, one of our key focuses has been to stay connected. Obviously, it's virtually, but, we have regular get-togethers as bowling units, batting unit, leadership, individual conversations with the players. So yeah, I mean, we've done our level best to stay connected with the group, and that's a wider group, to continually talk about how we want to play the game, how each player fits into that game plan, what their game needs to look like in order for us to deliver our best as a team. So yeah, it's been great to stay connected with the players, albeit over the screen.
Thanks, Firdous. Zahir, then Keenan.
How's it, Rob? Just wanted to ask you, in the context of South African cricket, if you look back based virtually till 2007, South Africa have always had a target of 15 players of color going into a World Cup. With the no selection panel at the moment and just a head coach, you've obviously not reached that target. What was the discussion like with whether it was with Enoch or with the board in terms of getting the squad approved to go to the World Cup, and particularly with the fact that there's only one Black African in the squad?
Yeah, look, I mean, the reality is, my number one imperative is to create a winning Proteas team. In order to do that, every time I pick a side, I've got to pick the best team at the time that I think will give us a chance of doing that. Look, that said, the system needs to really up the ante, so that in 6 months, 12 months, or 2 years' time, and in particular when we reach the 2027 World Cup at home, that the demographics and the representation in our team starts to look a bit different, and does look a bit different. So outside of the World Cup, we'll continue to use our bilateral series to do exactly that, to grow our base of players, to create international opportunity, to give opportunity for players to put their skills at a higher level, and just make sure that we've bought in and are delivering on a process that's going to change what our team looks like as we move forward.
Thanks. So here, Keenan, then Kanyiso.
Thanks, Lucy. Hi, Rob. Just in terms of the pitches in West Indies and America, and also your selection of 3 spinners in the squad, just how do you expect that to play, and how do you expect, and obviously you selected your team around that. Just are you expecting slow, low wickets, and is that why you went for the 3 spinners?
We've actually got 4 spinners in Aiden Markram, so don't leave him out of the conversation. Yeah, look, so part of it is also backup, in case of injury, to ensure that we're able to balance our team accordingly. So, much like the 50-over World Cup, we will continue to explore based on conditions, whether it's a 3-3 split seam spin or a 4-2 seam spin split. And yeah, it's just having the different spin options available to us in order to put the best team on the park relative to the conditions and the opposition.
Thanks, Keenan. Kanyiso, then Fani.
Thank you very much, Lucy. I'll just condense my 2 short questions into one. Rob, just take us through Ngaba Peter, what you've seen of him, what's impressed you so much about him and Patrick Kruger, and then just talk us through having Nandre back, but also having Nokia back, but shifting Lungi and Nandre onto the traveling reserves.
Okay, I'll start with Ngaba. Yeah, I've watched a lot of him play. In fact, he bowled to us in the nets in East London in the one-day series against West Indies when I first started with the team, and impressed us there. And fortunately, was able to move to the Lions to get some, to move to a Div 1 team, and got some opportunity, to play this year. He's a very exciting prospect. He bowls the ball nice and quickly, very Rashid Khan-like, without throwing a massive heap of pressure onto his shoulders. So please don't quote that, but just we see similarities in the way he bowls and in his method. So as a guy who's just completed his first T20 campaign, we just thought the West Indies was a perfect opportunity to bring him along, expose him to an international tour, and include him, with our staff, and get him to understand how we're looking to play the game. So from an overall development point of view, it's a perfect opportunity there. And then as far as the bowling goes, it's been a very tough choosing the seam component of our 15 squad, and not a hell of a lot to separate the two. But the one thing that Anrik does have that separates him from others is raw pace. There's not many guys who can bowl 150. He can. He's shown, in the last year that he's a quality competitor, and that, that pace is an X factor. And in particular, we understand as a team that, taking the top 4 wickets in the first 10 overs is a large success rate in terms of winning games of cricket. And, from a stats point of view, he's been very successful there. So, there wasn't much to separate the two, but, that's probably where he gets the edge.
Thanks, Kanyiso.
And Patrick Kruger.
Sorry.
Patrick Kruger, yes.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Sorry, Pat. Look, the great thing with the SA20 and then into the domestic challenge was that Pat bowled a lot. I've said since beginning we really need to broaden our base of all-rounders. So batting all-rounders, but also bowling all-rounders. And he's shown the power and the touch that he brings at the end with the bat. So again, just a really cool opportunity to reward him for his cricket over the last 4 months in particular, and grow this the all-round base with which we play the short format of the game.
Great, thanks, Kanyiso. Fani, then Johan. Fani, you're not unmuted.
I'm sorry, Rob. Kanyiso might have asked my question, but just on Lungi, has an amazing strike rate in the national T20 cricket of 13, 60 wickets in 40 matches. Was the fact that he was injured in the last couple of months, was that a factor maybe?
No, because the same could be said for Unrich. So, it wasn't that. The injuries happen. Again, I could, come and bring stats to counter as I have already had. It's a very tight decision of the two. At the end of the day, I think the main thing is someone who bowls at the, in the 150 zone, especially, given who we play in our the pool games at the start. I think that pace does bring an X factor and does give us a better chance of being successful.
Thanks, Vonnie. Johan?
Hi there, Rob. Is there any clarity on the warm-up matches in America before you join?
Any charity?
No, clarity about warm-up matches.
Oh, sorry. Any clarity? The only clarity I have is that we're playing three warm-up games in the West Indies. So that's all I can give you.
Yeah, but not somewhere in Florida before the tournament.
Oh, the warm-up. Yeah, we're playing one warm-up game in Florida prior to the main competition starting.
You don't know against who at this time?
I believe it's against Sri Lanka.
Thanks, Johan. I just wanted to check, Neil, is that an old or new hand?
Old one, sorry. Apologies.
No worries. Then we'll throw over to Zahir and then Ongama, and then we'll look to take the last questions.
How's it, Rob? Again, it's without wanting to labor the points, wanting to understand fully what you said earlier in terms of you providing opportunities around the squad, but you picking a World Cup squad and you want the best players. Have CSA as the board or INOC basically given you the approval to pick this side in terms, obviously you've picked it, but the approval to say we can go one short in this tournament, or we can, because it's a World Cup especially. Was that the directive you've been given basically?
I mean, no squad that I pick gets picked without discussion with the director of cricket. So simple as that.
So it's an INOC question to answer, basically.
You can ask him if you like.
Okay.
Thanks, Zahir. We'll go Ongama, and then if there's no further questions, we'll look to wrap with Nathan.
Thanks, Lucy. Rob, I just want to know if like obviously this is a provisional squad, World Cup squad. Is it a possibility that it's gonna change, given that there isn't there's still a month of IPL to play, and there's some players who don't necessarily have a good form. So is it a possibility that the squad is gonna change?
I mean, yeah, there is a possibility. We have up until the 25th of May to change the squad without medical reasons. Obviously, we've picked the squad as we have for a reason. However, if for whatever reason it comes to the 25th and we feel a change needs to be made in order for that then to become our best team, to give us the best chance, then there is a chance to do that, yes.
Thanks. We'll go Nathan. Zahir, I'll give you the opportunity. I don't know if that's an old hand or a new hand.
Thank you very much again, Lucy. Rob, when picking a squad, some players unfortunately have to miss out, the likes of Rian, Timber, and a few others. Was there a conversation with those players on their omission from the squad?
Yep, I've chatted to probably a group of 30 plus players in the last 3 days around selection and non-selection. So yeah, we do our best to communicate with those who we feel were in the mix and who were close to selection but didn't quite get there. And as much as it's nice to make good phone calls, I really feel for the guys who miss out. You've got really good people working really hard on their games, that are really good cricketers who, training hard to live their dream of going to a World Cup. I'm the one that has to tell them that that's not going to happen. I really do feel for those guys. It's not easy, and it's not easy for me, but certainly a lot harder for them to deal with the reality that, that won't happen.
Great. Thank you,